I guess ma'am has joined.
Am I audible, guys?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay, so let's start the session. Hey, good evening, everyone. This is Rishi Singh, the founder of TROVE, and I'm delighted to welcome you all to today's webinar. And as we all know that today's webinar is centered about a very important question, that is choosing litigation. Is it a right path for us or not? So today I'm pleased to welcome Advocate Kanika Bhardwaj ma'am in our webinar at TROVE. She is an advocate practitioner before Supreme Court of India and Delhi High Court. She have 12 plus year of experience in this field of litigation. So thank you so much, ma'am, for taking out the time from your busy schedule and for agreeing to share your insights with our student community. So thank you so much for accepting my invitation, and welcome to TROVE. On behalf of TROVE, I would like to invite you to this webinar, and you may begin the session. Now this
So thank you.
Yes.
So thank you everyone for having me here. And obviously today's session is very important considering you all are law students or probably budding lawyers, I believe. So it is very important for you at this particular stage to understand that whether litigation is for you or not. Because I believe that many law students, including me, when I was a law student at that particular time, so I've witnessed that many students are confused that whether they want to go into corporate, whether they want to go into judiciary, or there are several other options as well, whether they want a desk job or whether they want to be into litigation. However, I understand that litigation is a very eye-catchy profession. It's very it's a kind of adventurous profession, I can say, but it's not exactly as what you feel is reality. So reality is quite different from what we actually know about the profession. And the same happened to me also, but I was very much sure that I want to go into litigation. So I somehow made my path, but it's very important that what things that I have experienced and what I have felt at that particular time, it is always better if I can share with you and you can gain some of the experience from my experience. So that is why I'm here today. So let's start with the session, because there are several questions that we should know that I have to answer as of now. But let's start with the first one, which is that what law school does not teach about litigation. So let's start with answering this particular question, that when you are a law student, there are some things that the college cannot teach you, and it is also not possible for the college to teach you. First thing that we have to understand is that when we are into litigation, the bookish knowledge that we have is absolutely different from the practical knowledge that you have to gain. Absolutely different. So I understand that whatever you are studying in law school, I'm pretty sure whatever acts you're studying, but when it comes to the implementation of those laws in practical world, it is actually very different from what you have studied. So that you have to understand. So when you're into litigation, you have to gain both the experiences. Obviously, you must know the law. Obviously, if you don't know the law, that it will be a big problem for you, but you should know the law, but then you should also know how to implement that at the ground level. So this is one thing that law college can never teach you, and it will only come with the experience. Right? So for that, what you have to do, you have to do internships. When you are in a law school, I have seen the pattern that right now law students are running after the brand name. Everybody wants to go to Supreme Court. Nobody wants to come to the district court and learn. Everybody wants to go that I want to be an intern with one of the most senior lawyers. I want to go to Supreme Court. It's more like a brand game as of now, but that should not be the path, because at one point of time you realize right now it is very fascinating for everybody that you go to Supreme Court and click few pictures, make the reel, and do all this kind of things in social media. It's very eye-catching and fascinating, but then ultimately you have to be a lawyer, right? So I'm pretty much sure that people who are interning first time into the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court lawyers, they do not learn anything except from the court hearings. You will get the experience of the court hearings, you will get the experience of how Supreme Court hearings are done, but when it comes to the ground level, I'm pretty sure nobody will ever understand anything. कुछ समझ नहीं आएगा, फाइल ही नहीं समझ आएगी, फाइल में लिखा गया है, right? So it is a complete basically starting from the Supreme Court. As per my experience, you should start with the Supreme Court. Maybe but my advice is that I started with the strict and then understand the hierarchy, how this is done. So I understand that then when you enter the district court, 60% of matters of the entire litigation are getting in the district court. Then you get to the Supreme Court. Supreme Court only argues which is illegal, but the entire file is made at district court. So I believe if you're a lawyer, if you are not able to cross-examine a particular person, then probably it's a wastage of your legal career. The cross-examination is actually the key which will make you a successful lawyer. If you do not know how to cross-examine, then probably I don't think that person is a lawyer. Even if you see a senior advocate, they know how to cross-examine. Even take an example. Take the example of maybe later on Lamiji. He started from there, from Teachers High Court. Take any name of a senior advocate in the district court. Nobody ever came directly to the Supreme Court. So you have to understand that always start from the lower level, learn the hierarchy first, intern in the district court, understand that how the file is made, understand the environment, understand the ground level of what the law is. understand that how a file is made, how witnesses are cross-examined. And once you know that how a particular file is made, then you go to High Court. Then also don't go to Supreme Court directly, go to the High Court. Then learn that how a particular file is challenged, how a particular order is challenged. And then probably if you go to Supreme Court, you'll be able to understand that what actually happens in apex court and what is the hierarchy and what is the system. And then you'll be able to understand the ground realities of perfection. So this is my advice for you that probably the law college will not tell you. Neither I believe that any senior will tell you, nor if you're interning somewhere, I don't think that anybody is going to tell you all these things. So this is the one thing that I would want you to advise. The second thing that law school is never going to tell you is obviously the fact that litigation is all about clients. Understand the fact. No matter you are scoring 70%, 80%, 90% in your semesters, doesn't matter. But if you do not have clients at the end of the day, your litigation is nothing. Doesn't matter if you are the person who knows each and every section possibly, who knows each and every case possibly, who is the best student in the academics, who must be getting the gold medals and everything. But if you do not have clients, what will you do with that knowledge, right? So this is, law college is never going to tell you this, and probably never going to make you understand this, because this is something which is a real-time show and the real-time experience. So client counseling and networking and how to bring the clients on the table is something that you have to learn from your law school itself. Because when it comes to networking, it's not going to happen in 1 month, 2 months, most probably in 1 year also. So the moment you get the degree, the moment you get your degree in your hand, you must know that what is your strategy, how now, because see, you are in the law college and probably it will take you 5 years. 5 years is a very big time. If you start by now, probably after like few months or few years, you will be able to figure out that how I'm going to bring the clients on the table. And the moment you get your degree, you can just start. It doesn't matter whether you're a junior or whether you are under some lawyer, you can parallelly start your own practice. But there are people who do not understand this, and after juniorship of like 2 years, 3 years, they understand that if I have to earn, if I have to be into this litigation, and if I have to become an independent lawyer, then clients is very important. So this is the thing that I would want you to, apply this in your lifestyle right now only, because you're going to be a lawyer one day. So and being a lawyer is kind of a lifestyle only. You can see that it's a kind of a lifestyle. So if you start applying this thing right now, probably the moment you get your degree in the hand, you have the strategy, you know what your goal is, where you want to go. But if you don't apply all these things, you will be like in a messed up position and don't know where to go, where not to go. So it's very important that you start figuring out from this very moment that how will you do your networking? How will you do the client counseling is also very important. Because this is not something which a law college is going to tell you. Neither your law college can teach you that how will you do the client counseling. Once a client is sitting in front of you and he's narrating his entire story and he's telling you about his case, how will you counsel him? Because at one point of time, a lawyer also has to be a salesman, right? You have to sell your services to him. You have to convince that you are the best lawyer and you will possibly find the best possible solution for the person, and probably he'll be able to fight your case the best possible way. So you have to sell your services to him, because ultimately money is also a goal, right? We say that litigation is a noble profession. Obviously, you can't do it for free, or you won't be doing TROVE cases. I'm pretty sure about it. So obviously, you have to make your mindset in such a way that you are selling your services to him, and now you have to convince the client also that you are the best person and why he should hire you. Because at the young age, these are the problems that probably every lawyer must have faced at one point of time. That, for example, if a client comes to me, and when I have just started my practice only, and the client used to come to me, and I used to say that I take 50,000 probably for one particular case, but then he used to say me that if I pay 50,000 probably I'll hire an experienced lawyer. Why should I hire you, right? And the same happens with me at this point of time, because I am not a senior as of now, not designated though. So if I charge, for example, 10 lakh for a particular client, then he'll say, if I give you 10 lakh, why cannot I hire a senior advocate? Why I hire you? So you have to counsel him in such a way that senior lawyer is not going to do anything. I am the best person for you to help, right? So these are the skills that you have to learn from now itself, and this will happen when you will, probably be associated with some of the seniors or some of the lawyers, so that you can actually listen to what and how your senior lawyer, or how, if you are probably in a law firm or with some lawyer, that how that person is counseling the clients. This will never come. You will never be able to learn this in law college. So for this, you have to step out and you have to do internships. And for that, because what happens is, I also have few of interns, and I have witnessed that interns actually do not know that what I have to learn and what I do not have to learn. So this is also one of the very question that abhi aap to gaye interns, but now they don't know. They're confused. What are the things that I have to learn? What are the things I don't have to learn? So this is one of the thing, that how your senior is talking to a client, which is client counseling, how he is taking up the clients. This is also very, very important. If you are into internships, the first thing that you learn is client counseling, and how your senior is basically doing networking. So this also you have to learn. I have seen many seniors who are arrange or who organize free legal aid camps also. So why they are doing it? They are not doing it for society service or something like that, but they are doing it for their own marketing, right? So you have to learn these tactics, that when you are an intern or when you are into a particular office, you have to learn from your senior. Number one, that how he's doing his networking and marketing. Number two, how he's dealing with his clients is very important, because the young lawyers basically, they're trapped also at times. Understand that people who are coming into the court, they are not genuine or honest people. They are either criminals or they are very sharp-minded people. And few of the clients are very overconfident also. And few of the clients are who want to trap you only. Right? So ultimately you get trapped. So as a young lawyer, you have to also learn that how you do not get trapped by your clients only. Right? So you have to use your words very carefully while talking to a client. Never say to a client that 100% I'll get to the relief. Now here you get stuck. If you say that 100% I'll get to the relief, what if not? Because 100% obviously in the court you do not know whether you are going to get a relief or not. And if you have said to a client, maybe in the flow only, if you have said to a client that I'm going to get you relief 100%, then you are stuck there. Then probably he will do a complaint against you in the bar. That this lawyer told me that he gave me the guarantee that I'll win the case but he lost. And in that case, what to be fund also. So that is another problem. I'll just take a few second gap here. I'm just so sorry. So yes, I was into that when you are dealing with a client, you have to be very cautious about yourself also. The first one, I have told you that you always have to be like very careful with your words and your statements. Is how you decide your fees is also very important, right? So for example, if you have decided a particular fees, it's always better that you either give it in writing or do an MOU with the client, or basically raise an invoice. All these kind of practice you have to learn from the internships, and obviously you cannot learn all these from the law college, right? So you have to understand all these things. Number three is that when you are dealing with a particular client, always make sure that when the client goes, you have to return all the files to him. If you do not return file, again, he can probably do a bar complaint against you. So all these things are very important that you have to learn in internships. I'm telling you all these things for the reason that I've understood, because as I told you that I also have interns, and when I see them, they are very messed up with what to learn, what not to learn. They're learning those things which actually will always come with experience. They are learning such things. But at this point of time, when you're a law student, you have to learn the courtroom ethics also, and the practice also, that what exactly the ground realities are, because this is something which is nobody's going to tell you, that how to deal with clients and all these things. So this is very important. Apart from that, you have to learn the paperwork of litigation is very important. There are still certain lawyers and very experienced lawyers who do not know how to draft. So this is again a major goal, that I understand that if you are into litigation, you must be very good at the arguments and everything. So is there a background sound coming from my end? Am I audible here?
Yes, ma'am, you're audible here.
Yes, this is another thing that I want to address, that there are still lawyers in the district court and high court. Not in the high court, the number is very less, but if I talk about the district court, there are some lawyers who do not know drafting. And drafting is something that always comes, the more you draft, the more you learn. If you don't even start, you will never be able to draft any particular case. So this is very important that you should learn how to draft from here itself. Because the drafting is something that will not come overnight. The moment you get a degree in your hand, it is not the case that within a month or within 2 months you learn how to make a proper draft or how to make a proper case. It will not be the case, right? So you have to learn drafting from the very beginning. Start with the legal notice, start with the complaint, start with the very basics of drafting. I mean, the legal notice is probably the simplest thing when it comes to drafting. And drafting the complaint is again one of the simplest things that probably you can learn. So if you know how to draft a legal notice, then you go with the complaint, then you learn how to draft a particular complaint. Now, while drafting a complaint, there are many things that the lawyer miss, that what are the basic ingredients of a section. They don't write those basic ingredients, and then the complaint is a very weak complaint, and ultimately your case is very weak. So you have to learn all these things from here itself. Because when you will start learning from here itself, then at one point of time, after probably 2 years, 3 years, you will be able to be perfect. If you start, once you get your degree, and then you add 3 years more. Like 5 years you are doing the law, and then 3 years more you will learn all these things, and probably it's going to be a very, very long time period. So it's always better you start learning the paperwork of litigation from here itself. Then comes that how you deal with the judges. Again, very important, that how you will deal with them, because the temperament of judges at each level is different. If you go to district court, the judges will behave differently. If you go to high court, the behavior and conduct will be different. And in Supreme Court, it's absolutely different. And again, if you go to some tribunal, the conduct will be different. So you have to understand that if you are dealing in district court, how should be your arguments. If you are in high court, then what will be your arguments. In Supreme Court, the arguments is completely different. So this is very important to learn. As per my experience, I'm telling you, while you are in district court judges read, because they have to make the file, right? The process of district court is as such that the file is still into process, because there will be first there will be a petition, then there will be a written statement, then there will be a replication or rejoinder, then there will be evidences, then cross-examination and all these things. So file is in process in district court. So when you come to district court, obviously you will act as per the stage, but the scenario is completely different in the high court. In high court, you are challenging a particular order, so you must know the exact file of yours. And then again in Supreme Court, you're challenging a particular point. So you should be thorough with that particular point and the laws. So the temperament of judges is completely different at all the stages and all the levels. So you have to learn from here that how to deal with the judges. And then another thing is how you present your case to the judges. So these are few of the things that probably your law college will not teach you. Number one that I want to tell you is always be disciplined. Because here, this is the point where most of the lawyers lack. See, I want to tell you through my experience that even you will be a lawyer and the person who is earning less than you will also be a lawyer. So both the lawyers are doing the same thing in the court. But then why you will get more clients and not the other lawyer? So these are the things, your skills are the only things that will differentiate your practice and some other lawyers' practice. This is the only pointers which the client will see that whether whatever he's paying to you is worth or not. And if he feels that whatever he's paying to you is not worth, he'll change the lawyer immediately. And this profession is a cutthroat profession. You will not be able to hold your client for even 2-3 days more. The moment the client felt that there is a problem in this lawyer and he's not handling my case properly, you will not be able to hold the client for 3 days also. He will immediately start looking for another lawyer. And the moment he will start looking for another lawyer is where you have failed as a lawyer. Because it's very important for you to hold your client till the end of the case. It's very important. And the same happens with the doctors also. Probably there are two people who are doctors. The one is very disciplined. He's very clear, precise, and you understand what he's saying. And then there is another lawyer who is not even disciplined. He has called you at 10 a.m. in the morning, but he's coming at 12. Right? So what do you do? Obviously, you will switch. So the same with the legal profession as well. And in this profession, to hold your litigation is very important. And your litigation will be held only if you are able to hold your client till the end of the case. And there is no point if you are, for example, a client is coming, you file the case also, you handle 2-3 days of your client, but then ultimately the client goes away. And that client will go out in the market, he'll tell that this lawyer is not a good lawyer. And probably he'll take 2-3 clients away from you also. And he's never going to refer any of the cases to you. So now it is your responsibility, if you want to be into a good litigation, if you want to be a good lawyer, your percentage of holding the client should be more in comparison to the clients who have left you. So courtroom skills is very, very important. So number one is obviously you have to be disciplined. Most of the lawyers are not disciplined. They will not come to the court at 10 a.m. or 10:30 a.m. They'll come to the court at 12:30 a.m., take passovers and do all this thing. Many of the seniors do it, but you as a young lawyer, you try because you don't have to please the court, you have to please your client also. I believe that the courtroom you will handle at one point of time, but if your client is not with you, what will the courtroom do? So it is very important that you have to please your client. Even if you're losing a case, you have to argue in such a way that your client is pleased, because ultimately your client is going to pay you, not the judge. So this you have to understand. So more than judge, you have to please your client in such a way that even if you're losing your case, the client should come out from the court and say that yes, she did or he did their best and this was the best we can do, and he will appreciate you. You have to make your case or you have to make your argument in such a way. So this you have to understand it very precisely. So obviously be disciplined. Number two, that you should always know your file. Right now there are so many interns, even my interns do not go to the court after reading files. I've told them thousands of times that read the file and then go to court. Else don't go to court. But they don't listen. So I can only tell you, if you want to apply it, you can apply it. So yes, you should know your file. If you're doing internships, if you are going into a particular court and into a particular case, you should know your file from the starting till the end. So there are two benefits of doing this. Number one is that you'll be able to understand what exactly the court has said in a particular order or what exactly is going on in the proceeding. Number two is that it also builds your confidence. But the other benefit that you will have is that in case the judge asks you that what happened on this data, what happened that day, what is the incidence or what is the section or what is the issue or which witness said what in which particular time, so you must be thorough with it. So it should not be the case you are court mein khade hoke, you are just flipping the pages. It should not be the case. You should be thorough with your file so that the judge understand that this is the person who has come to the court after reading his file and you cannot mess with this person. Right? So that is something which brings confidence. If you are going to a court without even knowing what exactly the case is, then there is no point of going. And ultimately you are destroying or capturing your own reputation in front of the judge. Because the judge understands that what kind of a lawyer you are. And if something is actually irritating the judge, then probably the order will also be not in your favor. You have to please the judge also at one point of time. And how you'll please the judge is that if you know exactly what happened and which date, if you know your case, if you know the brief, if you know the sections and issues and everything, I'm pretty sure that if the judge questions you, will be able to answer in a very confident way. But in the other part, if you do not know the file, if you do not know the facts of the case, you will be stuck in the court and you will be rupturing your own reputation, which is obviously not advisable because you will be the young lawyers, not a senior one. And I believe that obviously it is not a good practice also if you're going to a case and you're not reading the file. I don't believe it's a good practice. So yes, that you have to understand, and it's a kind of a skill because reading a file is also a skill. So most of the people, what they do is that when they start reading a file, they'll start with the petition, then the written statement. But that is not actually how you read a file. When you're reading a file, it's a technique, right? When you see that this versus this, the first thing that you should see in your file is jurisdiction of the court. whether this case has been filed in the right court or not. This is the first thing you will see in the file, but most of the people don't see it. You start with the case and the file दिया है पढ़ने के लिए. You'll start with the petition, क्या लिखा है, what's the case. You'll go with the FIR, complaint पढ़ो, this that. But nobody will ever, this question will not come into your mind that this is the first thing you have to check in a particular file, that whether the case has been filed in the correct court or not. You will not believe that 25% of cases are dismissed on the jurisdiction part only, and this makes you a very good lawyer if you are able to get a particular case dismissed on the part of jurisdiction. It's a very good practice of a lawyer. So first, always check the jurisdiction, that whether the district is correct or not, whether the file is in correct court or not. And if you think that the file is not in the correct court, then you on first day you go to the court and say, see, the court does not have power to adjudicate this case. This case has to be transferred. So you argue on that particular point. So nobody checks that particular thing. So first thing you have to go through is the jurisdiction part. The second thing you will go and check that whether this case is maintainable or not. For example, a person has filed a domestic violence case against, for example, a wife has filed a domestic violence case against the mother-in-law. But in domestic violence case, it is mandatory that the wife and the mother-in-law should stay in a shared household. What if she has never stayed in a shared household? The mother-in-law cannot be made party to the case in this particular case. So if you will not check the maintainability, that whether this case is maintainable or not, then probably you will miss that particular point and the case will go on. So here it comes to that practice. So yes, I am trying to explain you that how important is the file reading in your lifestyle. If you are not able to read the file correctly, you will probably be very bad at litigation. So first thing is obviously you will check the jurisdiction, then you will check the maintainability, then you will apply the law, then you will read the file, then you will check the issues, that what exactly are the issues, and then you will check the ingredients, that whether this section is made or not made, and what are the loopholes, and on which particular point you can argue in the court. Then you have to note down all those points, and then probably you go to the WS and rejoinder, and then your arguments and everything. So reading the file is also a technique which will not come in a day or two, obviously. It will take some time, but you have to start by now itself. So this is another courtroom skill that you must be doing. After that, I would also want to highlight the importance of making a strategy in a particular case. Because what most of the people do is that they go in a very stereotyped way. That first will go, notice will happen, like exactly the very stereotyped way. But then what I believe is that if you want to become a lawyer from this very beginning only, what you have to do is you have to read the case file in a brief manner, and then first you read the file in a brief manner, then you read it deeply, and then in the third time you make a strategy that what will you do to save your client. So this is one thing that you have to understand, that you should know how to make a strategy in your case. If you do not know how to make a strategy, you are just running directionless. You won't be ever able to win your case, or you won't be able to bring the best solution to the client. So this is very important that you always start making a strategy, that how will I save this client? First I do this, then I do this, that probably I'll file after your cases. So these are few of the skills that I think that I can help you with. The other thing is that when we talk about advocacy as a career, see, for the first generation, who are the first generation lawyers, I think it's a little difficult for them, but in comparison to the people who are already into this particular environment or particular ambience, because those who are not the first generation lawyers, they actually, from the law college only, they have some idea about the courtrooms, about the ambience, about what lawyers do, what do not, and probably they have resources. But when it comes to the first generation lawyer, I'm not differentiating it, but I'm just trying to help the first generation lawyers. I don't know how many of you here are first generation or not. I don't know as of now. But if you are the first generation lawyer, it is going to be a difficult process for you, because you have to start from the very scratch. So you have to think about, if you are thinking about starting your own independent litigation, then probably you should also think about how you get the resources. Resources is like how you establish your office, how will you get your chamber. You have to start thinking from right now only if you want to be, because at one point of time, if you're being independent, you want your office, you want the resources, right? You want the access to Manupatra and SCC and very good judgments and everything. So you have to make a roadmap that how you will do the things, and probably if you will make a roadmap and if you will make your goal or the benchmarks, in that case only you will be able to achieve it. Else it's going to be a very, very difficult process. And again, I'm not differentiating, but for women, it's actually more difficult, for the reason being that a woman has to deal with the police officers also, with such people who are criminal also, maybe all such kind of ground realities also come in front of our eyes, right? So you have to learn that also, and even for a man, you have to learn how to deal with the police officers. It's again a very specific topic, but then yes, how you deal with the police officers, how you deal with the PP out there, and dealing with the court staff is another level problem, because how you deal with them is, because it's okay that your case is listed, but then you have to deal with the court staff also. At times they miss the application only, misplace kar dete hain. Then you have to understand that why you have file an application, that why you have misplaced my application. You have to address it in front of the court. So these are the things that the ground realities that you have to learn. So advocacy as a career, number one is that you have to be very sure that you want to be into litigation, because litigation is a passion. Many people think that from the very beginning the litigation will give you so much of money, but it's not the fact. Initially it will give you the peanuts only the peanuts, because itna ki gaadi chal jaye, that's it. Gradually you will be able to earn more, and how will you be able to earn more? Only if you have clients, as I told you in the beginning only. Clients hai to litigation hai, else there is no litigation only, because you won't be able to earn money out of it, right? So you have to be very, very sure that yes, litigation is your passion and you want to be into litigation, then only step in. Else probably you can look other options like corporate, or you can be in the judiciary as well if you're very good academically probably. So because litigation, when we talk about litigation, it's a kind of a passion, it's a kind of a drug that yes, you want to handle a case, you want to argue a case. In the initial days, I did lots of pro bono cases. I mean, I didn't earn even a single penny. I used to send free legal notices also. And for a very good amount of time, like probably for an year or so in my career, I did pro bono cases only. I never used to get a penny out of it. But then I didn't quit for the reason being that I wanted to be in litigation. So it's a hurdle. There will be lots of hurdle in our particular journey, but you should be ready for it. And if you want to earn money in the very beginning itself, that if you're thinking the moment I get into litigation, I'll be able to earn lots of money, it's a complete myth. Even if you do a junior step at this point of time, how much can you earn? Like if you start by probably 15K or 20K probably, maximum if you are employed under a very senior lawyer also, maximum you will get is 1 lakh or 1.5 lakh, not more than that, I'm pretty sure about it. So this is something which you can earn and you cannot go above and beyond this, right? So in order to be into litigation, you have to make up your mind that you will not quit, you will stay, because being consistent is only the key. I have seen many people quitting litigation, and for the reason being that supporting him, so when I said because clients नहीं आ रहे हैं, so this is the only reason I told you in the very beginning. Client is very, very, very important ultimately. So when you are into a journey of becoming a litigating advocate, and so you have to be prepared for all these things. It's going to be very, very brutal, and you can only stay if you are passionate about it. Otherwise, litigation is not something which everybody can do, and most people quit after 5-7 years also, after 10 years also, because they keep waiting and keep applying new tactics. But again, it's not that easy, so you have to be mentally prepared. But yes, one thing I'm going to say, that if you're consistent about it and if you're passionate about it, eventually it will happen. It's something which is not that nahi hoga, because I am also a first generation lawyer and I'm able to establish my own law firm because I was consistent. However, there are cases that in some cases I have used my own money from my own pocket, and I have I used to fight the case, but then eventually it's going to pay back. So this is something, this is the harsh reality of litigation, and I believe that it is my duty to tell you because it's something which I faced. So obviously if you have to figure this out. I'm not saying that you quit away. I'm not into that. I'm just motivating you to understand and then step into it, right? Apart from that, I would want to tell you that right now in the law colleges, obviously there are like moot courts, the debate competition. If you want to brush off your skills, you have to participate in the moot courts. But again, the moot court is not the reality. And do moot courts because basically it gives you an idea about how to argue in a court. But then first do moot court and then see the real court also. So in that case, you'll be able to understand it in a better way, right? But yes, if you want to brush off your skills as of now, if you're in the law college, then participate in all the debates, because I was one of the person when I was in school, I was not a public speaker at all. So I used to be like, whenever there was a debate competition or something, I used to be the last person sitting in the last bench and hiding my face that I cannot come in front and talk in front of so many people. So that was my nature at that time. But then the moment I stepped into the law college, and the moment I started interning and looking here and there, I understand that kind of confidence and argument skill and public skill is something that is must. Without these 2-3 things, you cannot stand anywhere in this particular litigation. So I started interning with the NGOs first. Then I gained some kind of confidence. Then I started participating. I did not directly jump into debate because I was very nervous. I was a person, I would not talk among 3 people only. But now I can probably come to the stage and talk to 1,000 people also. So this is something which I have built over the time. And you have to start from your law college also. I could not wait for my degree to come into my hand and then I'll start all these things. No, I started in the college itself. So this is one advice that I want to give you all, that participate in every competition, be it a debate, be it essay writing competition, be it anything. Just participate in it and probably it will give you some kind of exposure. Another thing that I want to tell you is take exposure as much as possible. Go to seminars, go to conferences, right? Participate in moot court, not in your college, and maybe in other states also. Talk to the lawyers. Sit in among the lawyers. And even if you are interning, you randomly go to a canteen and just see that how it is going, talk to people. The more exposure you will get, is more you will learn. And this profession is ever learning process. You will every day you will learn a new thing, and every day is going to be different. For example, and specifically laws, like earlier it was like IPC, CRPC, CPC, now it's BNS, PNSS, right? So overnight the law changed. Now you have to obviously you must be reading BNS, PNSS, but we have gone through IPC, CRPC. So now we are again reading all those laws and what BNS says, what BNS says. So you have to be ready for that also, and you have to be confident that yes, you'll be able to adapt it as if we are adopting it right now, right? So exposure is very, very important. The more you will expose yourself and the more exposure you will get from the outside world, the more it is going to help you in your legal career. Right? The people who do not know about strategies, जैसे कहते हैं इनको दुनियादारी पता ही नहीं है, that person cannot become a lawyer. So you have to be very street smart also. And to become a street smart, obviously you have to go on the street and you have to take exposure. So this is another thing that I would want to advise you in this particular journey. And I believe at this point I told you that just don't only be into textbooks, right? You be into textbooks. I'm not saying here that you don't study at all. Study, understand the law, but ultimately try to implement that also. For example, if let's talk about let's talk about 420 IPC. It's cheating and fraud. It's the most basic section. You understand that if somebody has, cheated a person, then 420 will be applicable. But you do not know the ground realities. First, the complaint will be done. In that particular complaint, you will check that what are the ingredients, whether the ingredients of 420, that is cheating. There has to be a financial fraud, all these things. The intention again is very important. So these are the ingredients of 420. If there is no intention, there is no 420. If there is no financial involvement, there is no 420. Right? If there is no cheating, there is no 420. So you have to check the ingredients first. First, there will be a complaint. After the complaint, the police officials will call both the parties to the police station and they will try to settle it out. Now, this particular step is not written in your textbooks. In your textbook, you will only study what 420 is. And what is the punishment, whether cognizable, not cognizable, right? Bailable, non-bailable, you will understand from a textbook only this much only. But when you will apply it to the practical world, there will be a complaint first, then the police officer will call both the parties to the police station. He'll try his best to settle the case. If the case is not settled, then he'll do the FIR. Then probably he'll call both the persons for the investigation. Then the charge sheet will be made, right? And between this entire process, there will be so much things. Probably how you deal with the police officer, how you will make sure that the charge sheet is weak. Teach your client that what statement you have to give before the police station, which statement you do not have to give, where he has to be silent, where he has not to be silent. These are the things that your textbook will never tell you. These are the things that will only you will learn with the experience when you are there in the police station. Right? So this is my point, is that it's okay that you are academically, you are reading your books, but then without knowing its practical aspect, everything is waste. It's absolutely waste. So yes, this is something which I would want to advise, that start doing your internships, be in the court, be in touch with the court, be in touch with the lawyer, be in touch with the cases, with the clients, with everything, so that you're not out of touch and only into the academics. So this is my advice to you, and I hope I got only few minutes to talk to you guys, but I really believe that the session was useful and I'm able to, give few of my experience to you, and maybe it will help you in the future. So with this, I want to hand over, and if you have any questions, you can ask me later. You can unmute yourself and you can ask questions if there is any question.
Okay, guys, do you have any question? Yes, Sadaf, please go ahead. Yes.
You can unmute yourself, you can ask the question.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Thank you for this wonderful session, and it was very insightful. I just wanted to ask that, like, how many months should we invest in, how many months we should intern in district court? Because our curriculum involves, like, in every semester you have to do one internship. So in the entire integrated course, we are given 10 months to do internship. So, like, how many months should we invest, or how many months should we do an internship in district court?
See, because the attendance is always also important, but see, you can divide your internship period into your convenience, because if you think properly, what I feel is at least 2.5 months in the district court is kind of important before going to the high court, for the reason being that at least you should know the ambience of the district court and how the district court works. So most probably, I think 2.5 months would be sufficient, but it depends upon the student to student. Some people want to intern for a month only, some people want to intern for 4 months at district court, but then what I, as per my understanding, at least 2 months or 2.5 months you should give to district court, and it will take that much of time to at least make you understand about the ambience of the court and how it works. So once you are able to understand that how the district court works, you can then jump to high court and then probably go to Supreme Court. But then again, this is only limited to the internship period. But when you are a fresh lawyer, when you just get your degree in your hand, I believe that at least 6-7 months you should be there in the district court as a lawyer. As an intern, you can choose for 2.5 months, but as a lawyer, at least 6 to 8 months you should be there in the district court, and then probably you can jump to the high court after knowing exactly how the district court works.
Okay.
Any other question? I've kept 5 to 10 minutes for you to ask me questions.
Hi, ma'am. Good evening.
Hi, good evening.
So, ma'am, in the registration form also we have asked interns to ask questions if they have any. So, I'm asking one of the questions from there. So, the question is, for students without connections in the legal field, what are the most effective ways to build opportunities and networks? And what specific skills should a law student focus on early to become a competent lawyer, and how can we practically build them?
So when it comes to networking, which is obviously very important, so from where you can start. So you have to start from your surroundings only, right? What I believe is that if you will not yourself go and tell to the people that you're a lawyer, people will never be able to come to know that you're a lawyer. And if they don't know you're a lawyer, they won't refer a case. So start from the surroundings only, from the, I started from the gym as well. The gym I used to go, I started telling the people that I'm a lawyer. I started giving my visiting card to them. When I used to go to a shop also, I used to tell them that I'm a lawyer and I used to give my visiting card. When I used to go to the conferences and seminars, I used to tell people that take my visiting card, I'm a lawyer. So start from your surroundings only, and from the surroundings only you'll be able to get, or you'll be able to get few cases. Apart from the surrounding, obviously right now LinkedIn is there. At the time when we started, there was no social media, there was no LinkedIn, no Instagram, nothing, and we started like that only. But now you have so many tools to showcase yourself. You have online social media, everything. So you can start from there. You can start from the LinkedIn. You can start from Facebook. You can just start. Right now, I'm also doing a webinar. You can do your own sessions. You can make your own videos. I have so many things right now from how you can basically tell to the people that you're a lawyer. So the idea is telling more people that you're a lawyer. The idea is not to make a client, because the more people you're going to tell that you're a lawyer, eventually, if not now, in the future, it's going to help you. So that you can do. Start telling the people that you're the lawyer. Just start from this particular point only, and you will see how it will help you in the future.
Hello.
Hi.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Hi.
It's lovely to have you today. Good to hear you today. Yes. Ma'am, actually, I have two questions. Once I had done my internship in my district high court, and then I faced this difficulty that everything goes in Hindi, right? And I am not as much fluent or as much smooth in Hindi when it comes to writing and reading as I am in English. Of course, we communicate that daily. So that is like one of the very, very big challenge. No matter how good lawyer I'm practicing under, or how nice support that I'm gaining from the senior ones, no matter how much they do it for me, but I'm just unable to grasp it. This is my first question.
But in High Court, in most of the High Court, there is English only, and in Supreme Court, there's English. Because see, this is again one of the hurdles that obviously nobody can do anything about it. It's up to you only. Because see, when the people from the South come to not courts to understand Hindi, but then obviously either they hire a translator or probably they figure it out. So it was something that obviously you have to figure this out. In your particular state, I don't know from where you are, which state you are?
Actually, Rajasthan.
Okay, you're from Rajasthan. So probably in Rajasthan, so you don't know Hindi in Rajasthan.
No, of course I do, but not like in that speed that we read often in English. Not like that speed. Reading and in the writing.
This is one thing that you can probably start brushing up as of now. Because this is one skill, again, you have to learn the language. Then nobody can do anything about it. If you don't know the language, then again, it's your problem.
And second thing, just it won't take much time. That how were you so much sure that you were you were built for litigation particularly, not for the corporate world? This will help me also to identify my.
Yeah, as I told, that litigation is kind of a passion. I know that I'm not a person who can do a desk job and be into corporate. It is again, you have to identify your own potentials. Like it's just a fight from within only, a fight from yourself only. You have to analyze that whether you can go to a same mindset every day and do same work again and again. And if you like it, probably, and corporate obviously, as I told you, that when you are a young lawyer, you won't be able to earn much as you'll earn in the corporate. So there are few people who want to earn more from the very beginning, then obviously litigation is not for them to go into corporate. So you have to analyze within yourself only that whether you are made for litigation or not. And for that, probably you can do your internships. I am pretty much sure that by doing your internships only, you'll be able to analyze that whether the courts are for you or not. So for that, you can take exposure from the internships from the court, and you'll be able to understand that whether the court is for you or not. You want to work here, you don't want to work here. So you'll be able to analyze it. So this is the time, obviously, when you're a law student, you can analyze that whether you want to go into litigation or into corporate. So, but only exposure can help you doing this. If you're not sure, there must be many students who are not sure that they want to go into litigation and corporate, then intern on both the fields, like intern in litigation also, after a few months go to the corporate firm also, go to the MNC also, internships are everywhere. If you are interested in taxation, go with some taxation lawyer, learn taxation there, understand that whether you will be able to do it or not. Go into litigation with a litigating lawyer. And you can go into corporate. At least you have 5 years. You can from the more exposure from the different number of internships, you'll be able to understand that what and which field is exactly for you. So you can explore also in this particular time.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Ma'am, there is a question which I thought of some reading it. So I'm a first generation law student and first year student. What small steps should I start taking that will benefit me in future? And also, what should be the attitude and manners of lawyers that I should indulge myself in?
That most of 95% of answer to this question I've given in the section only. But if you want to be very precise, if you want to understand that how you can start is again I'm telling you, start with your client page, because client page is must if you want to go into litigation. If you are not sure, then probably explore it. If you are sure that you want to come to litigation, then start with the networking with the clients and make a roadmap that how you can get a client. You can probably, if you are in the beginning of your career, you can probably do a free legal aid camp also, online, offline. So start networking, building your community and telling more people that you are a lawyer. And number two is, again, that I told in the session also, learn how to implement the law. Because I'm pretty sure that you will eventually know what the law is in law college, but people don't know how to implement the law. So if you have done your networking well, and if you know how to implement your law, 50% of job is done. So start from here. Okay, so now I would want to hand it over because I will have to leave.
Yeah, thank you so much, ma'am, for this wonderful webinar, and your insights and your experience was truly enriching for us. and it was truly an honor for me to host you as a guest speaker. So thank you so much, and I hope for the more collaboration in the future. Thank you so much.
All right, guys. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Very good. Bye.